Welcome everybody to another meditation. Thanks for those that are joining us today. The new faces, familiar faces, and new faces. And what I'd like you to do in the next 10 or so seconds is just make sure you're in a comfortable spot, whether you're lying down or whether you're sitting down, making sure you don't have your arms or your legs crossed, but your feet on the ground, just allowing that the blood and the veins to be going through unabated. Just being really open with this meditation. And maybe just reflect a little bit on what you're feeling at the moment, and if you're noticing any thoughts that are coming in and out of your mind, just try to put them aside. Just leave them outside. This meditation is an opportunity for this sacred time for you, for self-care, and embrace this short meditation, which will go for about 20-25 minutes. For those that have done meditation before, just take that all in, and just allow the music and my voice just to help calm your mind. For those that are new to meditation or haven't always practiced it, meditation is not just a question of having 20-25 minutes of meditation, but it's just an opportunity to bring yourself to the present moment, to try to get your thoughts out of the way, try to look at your breathing, just try to connect with your body, and trying to connect with the emotions and what you're feeling and how your body holds those emotions, whatever they may be. And so if you haven't already done so, maybe just close your eyes. If there's any noises you hear outside, just try to disregard them, as difficult as that might be sometimes. Just bring yourself back to yourself. And just tuning in to the time you have right now. And slowly just maybe pay particular attention to what your breathing's doing at the moment. Is it a bit shallow? Are you short of breath perhaps? It's something that as humans we do a fair bit of. We breathe quite shallow and short. So you can imagine the body requires oxygen to be pumped through the lungs and out to the veins and the blood system. Shortness of breath often associates itself with heart rates. And I guess it's that fight or flight mechanism where adrenaline gets pumped through the body as you try to navigate your day and your working environment and do all the tasks that you need to do. And the mind and your thoughts are quite good at sapping a lot of that energy up. Throughout the day, particularly in your working environments or even in your family environments, that energy gets sapped away as you externalize a lot of your tasks and do things for others, which is great in one part, but it's not the best thing for yourself sometimes, as you might feel that your energy is depleted at the end of the day and you feel tired. Sometimes you're a bit ratty at the kids. You might even be upset or get angry at your work colleagues or people that you have close working relationships with. And so I invite you to tune back into your breath and just allow slightly longer breaths where, say, your inhale is slightly shorter than your exhale. And if that means that you inhale real deeply for about 3 or 4 seconds and allowing the exhale to be about 6 seconds or so. So inhale a lot shorter than your exhale. And in each case, in your own time, allow that inhale to come in, noticing on the inhale how your body rises up and your lungs, your stomach, your shoulders. Just hold it there for a short time and then release the exhale. It doesn't have to be a long exhale, but enough so that you recognize that you're secreting all that air out of your system, out of your lungs. So I'll allow you to do that for about 10 seconds in your own time, just the inhale and the exhale, nice and deep. The other thing that we're trying to do with the breath is we're trying to trick the brain to actually say, we don't want the brain and our minds to be controlling our breath cycles, but we're actually being conscious of what we're doing with our breath. And we're going to practice a technique, a breathing technique that allows us to try to help regulate that breath. So what I ask you to do is to take your left thumb and place it over your left nostril. And what I want you to do is I want you to just breathe through your nose with your right, and on the inhale on the right nostril, and just as you're going to exhale, swap over to your pointy finger and block your right nostril and exhale out of your left nostril. And then repeat the same. Inhale through your left nostril, switch over to your thumb and exhale through your right nostril. I can't actually do it fully for myself because I'm talking at the same time, but as I said, thumb over your left nostril, inhale through your right nostril, cover your right nostril, and then exhale through your left nostril. Inhale through your left nostril, cover your left nostril, exhale through your right nostril. Just repeat that a number of times in your own time. And each time avoiding breathing through your mouth, just purely through your nostrils to provide that clear passage and oxygen coming through your nostril. The nostrils are often quite discarded as a breathing tool. It's there for a reason, but we tend to breathe a lot through our mouths. So just keep on doing that breathing technique. Doesn't need to be quick, just at a steady pace. Now, as you're doing that, see if you can just pay particular attention to what your lungs or your stomach's doing at this point in time. As it rises and falls in sync with your inhale and exhale. What's important about the stomach is it's seen as a second brain. So our gut health, as being a second brain, is very important to keep our gut health, and the stomach itself produces emotions in its own way. And often what happens is when we have a thought, probably a thought that comes to mind for me at the moment will be probably fear, or an emotion is fear and anxiety. It might be a situation that we're experiencing at the moment, just that uneasiness, that anxiety we feel, and we hold that tension and that anxiety in our stomachs. And more often than not, depending on how your body handles that, we get upset stomachs. We feel nauseous. It could be something very quick that triggers us, because the subconscious doesn't recognize faces. So something that you may have experienced in the past, and then all of a sudden you experience something now, it might get re-triggered again. And it could be an experience that you may have had as a child, or something that's happened in the past for you, that sensation of wanting to fight or flight. So in the present time, that same trigger may happen in a completely different set of circumstances, around completely different people, in a different working environment. And so I see the current rapidly changing environment around us at the moment, where fear and anxiety probably is a common theme and a common emotion. We may already be holding those patterns and those programs in neuroconnections in our brain that have held that trauma or that fear or anxiety in the past. And so this is just another trigger. And that's sitting in our subconscious. Sometimes it's in our consciousness, but often triggers things that happen that are sitting in our subconscious that we're not aware of, and other people may pick that up in us that we're not aware. Part of becoming emotionally aware or emotionally intelligent is being able to become aware of those subconscious programs and patterns. That can be anything from feeling like a victim all the time, feeling like you've done something wrong, or feeling a need to always say sorry. As I was saying before, just having that sense of that fear and anxiety within you that may be a pattern of yours that you're not aware of, and trying to transform that emotion into something that's more positive. Imagine a child, imagine yourself as a child. As a child, say for example you're 5 or 6 years old, your childlike self will experience all the emotions, from fear, sadness, anger, joy. Typically they're the four main ones, and they can feel those emotions within 2 minutes of each other. And so imagine that those emotions are like this waveform, this frequency. So you've got the line and you've got this sort of, it's almost like a heart rate type thing. We're going to have ups and downs, and the intensity of that emotion will obviously have a higher peak or a lower peak depending on whether it's a high vibrating emotion like love and empathy and joy and happiness versus low vibration emotions like shame, fear, panic. They're quite low in the frequency, and it's scientifically proven that these frequencies have certain frequencies. And it's important to be able to feel and tune into those frequencies and understand that they're a natural part. So when we're feeling grief, if we stay truncated in grief, for example, it then transforms itself into suffering. And suffering is just prolonged grief, essentially. So when we look at fear and panic, for example, sits quite low from a vibration frequency perspective. And whilst it's good to feel that, it's also good to bring yourself out of that so that you start raising your vibration up beyond that point where we start tuning back into gratefulness, love, empathy, all those beautiful emotions that we know make us feel happy. So what I'd like to invite you to do at the moment is to perhaps tune into your stomach at the moment, and just imagine all the nourishing food that it receives throughout the day, and the fluids, And as it draws a lot of that and uses what it needs to nourish your body and your cells, just imagine how loving all those nutrients are that are going throughout your body as we speak. And each breath that we take, that oxygen that keeps us alive is a beautiful oxygen that goes to where it needs to go in its own amazing way, right to the tips of our toes and our fingers. It's what helps form our nails when the oxygen makes its way to our cells. When the oxygen goes through and oxygenates the blood, that blood too makes its way throughout the whole body, and it helps release any negative energy, any stuck emotion. Releasing that negativity is for you to be active in making that choice to replace that with a lot of self-love, a lot of self-care, a lot of a lot of humility about what we do have, and be grateful for what we do have in our lives. to bring you back a little bit. So perhaps to bring you back self to the room, just put your hands over your eyes, keeping your eyes closed, just to allow yourself to get used to the light again. Just open your eyes whilst you've got your hands cupped over your eyes. And then when you're ready, just take your hands out, leave your eyes open, and just bring yourself back to the room. Namaste.